Hi and welcome to Geekology. I'm David Zaburia.
And I'm Sven Harvey.
And tonight we're discussing Transformers Legacy.
Yes.
Now, Sven told me we were going to do Transformers Legacy. I thought it was a video game that I'd missed because of Star Trek Legacy. It's a book, Sven.
Yeah.
Why are we doing an episode about a book?
Well, basically this is a book I was looking forward to immensely. I know two of the guys who worked on it, and quite a few people actually worked on it in the end. And what it essentially is, it was basically supposed to be a collection of the artwork from Generation 1, essentially.
Okay.
So, basically boiling it down, it is the drawings, artwork of the characters that were on the boxes.
Okay.
Essentially. When it arrived, I had a bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting it to be this big a book.
It looks more like an annual.
Yeah, well, it's bigger than that even.
Oh, yeah.
It's certainly thicker.
It has the you know what it looks like? Very reminiscent of some of the new reprints they're doing for graphic literature stories that have done particularly well. A lot of Neil Gaiman's comics have been blown up to this size. So.
Fair enough. I mean, my wife actually pre-ordered this for me because it was supposed to be out on my birthday and it got delayed a little bit. And it actually missed auto assembly as well because Jim Sorenson is one of the guys behind the book, was at auto assembly, and I was supposed to take it there and get it signed, so I was going to have to wait until Jim's at one again.
That's a really ugly Autobot symbol. Was it originally red then?
Not that kind of red, no. That's actually from the 1988 catalogue. Was it 87? One or the other.
Oh, that is camp.
Omega Supreme. To be fair, that originally was a toy made by a different company, which they then created the artwork based on the artwork from the original toy.
Okay.
So, yeah. Again with Shockwave, again didn't start off as a Transformer, so when they adapted the artwork it looks a little bit out of place.
I like the fact that the photo of Sunstreaker has got damaging on the packaging. Why didn't they just get a mint one to do the photo?
You try finding one.
Okay. I would have thought that Hasbro would have photos of that kicking
This
around.
is the thing, is Hasbro back in the day, they didn't know what they had. They
What do
didn't
you
even
mean?
think about keeping sort of like archive records as such.
Didn't they?
No.
I thought that was standard practice for most toy companies.
Well, this is the thing, I was speaking to Jim about this, and a lot of the artwork had to be rescued from fans, had to be brought in by fans, because Hasbro didn't have them.
Okay,
It's all been sold on, so it's quite bizarre.
I suppose they're very lucky that the Transformers community is quite a loyal bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. Dinobots. Notice in Grimlock with the red eyes. Red eye bar. Yeah, there's Dance Blaster. That's the Autobot cassette that you didn't know about until today, apparently.
This artwork does not blow up to this size well.
Some of it doesn't.
Okay, some of this does. But I'm guessing that this had a much bigger box than this did.
Well, actually, Overdrive didn't get a box.
Didn't he?
No, he was a mail away. He came in a plain white box. So the fact he has artwork at all is amazing.
Well, I have to say there's a few things sticking out to me personally. But they may be addressed further on in the book, so I'll keep stum whilst I'm looking through. Whoa.
Beast box.
Okay.
Pink Gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I just thought
He was actually lilac,
beatbox. Beatbox. I
Yeah.
thought.
When you combine with Squawk Talk to make Squawk Box.
Oh, that is shocking artwork. What is that from? I know it says Japanese.
Yeah, it was from the rear of the boxes in Japan where we got different artwork at the time.
Okay.
Triptychon.
Yeah, that's a fat little puppy, isn't he?
He was actually this big.
Alright, seriously, what was this?
Wheelie. He Wheelie, him friend.
Yeah, he looks special.
Do you remember Transformers movie, the annoying little kid robot that was on Grimlock's back?
Yes!
Yeah, that's him.
Whew.
Does that now make sense?
Yeah, but I didn't recognise it from the artwork. Okay, that's a bit bad.
Again, this is the thing is these are very much based on the toys rather than the animation model. So that's why you're probably looking at them going.
I haven't seen that film in a very long time. To be fair. Yeah, Skylinux. Yeah. Shuttlecraft and a launch platform, wasn't it? Yeah. My God, what have you done to me?
That's a whole season of educating David, there.
No. Yeah, we need to knock those on the head. We need an educating Sven.
On what? What are you going to educate me on?
Oh, there were lots of TV.
Ooh, that sounded awfully...
It did. Challenge accepted! Yeah, you forget that I'm into a lot of really obscure science fiction that you would not have seen. For a very good reason.
I has taste.
That would be the reason. Okay, you know what? The thing...
It's very much of its time, the artwork is, let's be honest.
Okay, yeah, it does have that 80s reminiscent feel. Oh, I like that version of Prime, but that is not a good angle.
No.
It's very stylised.
Mm.
It is very specific to the 80s. I'm disappointed there isn't more of this.
Yeah.
Why is there not more concept art for the figures?
They don't exist anymore. Most
Really?
of it was destroyed, from what I understand.
Okay. They've only done this twice so far in the book, and I have a sneaky suspicion since I'm on page 97, I'm not going to get to what I wanted. So why are there not more pictures of the actual box art? I realise that these are box art figures, and I love the style and the back. I want to see what the box would have looked like that this figure was on.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is there a reason that's not here?
Well, the thing is, this was supposed to be very much just the character artwork. That's the scope of the book.
Okay.
I can see where you're coming from, though, and that's maybe...
Yeah, it's just a shame that there is no packaging variations.
Well, the thing is if you were going to do that, I mean, this is covering from 1984 up to G2, so 95. And to do a proper packaging examination with the different packaging variants and just even exploding the boxes out as a whole.
You would not be able to do this.
You'd be able to do maybe a year in a book of this size.
Do you think people would collect that?
I would. Okay. But it depends on what people would do. I mean, it all depends on what you want out of the book. Now, this book, the scope of this book essentially is just the character artwork that was created for the boxes. So,
tell you one of the other things which this packaging, obviously the packaging artwork covers it, where the others didn't. That is really freaky. That's a skeleton.
Dodger Dunwood is an interesting character.
It shows you the character and it shows you what it transforms into. Where early in the book, we just have the characters. Where are the vehicles that they transform into?
To start off with, it was a case of you had the figure or whatever was in the vehicle mode in the box, and then it showed you next, and you could see it through the window packaging.
That's nice.
So next to so with Hot Rod, in case in point, you had Hot Rod in the car mode through the window, so they put the robot mode next to it as the artwork.
This cannot have been all of the Transformer logo artwork for G1.
They're all the ones that were for the States. Right. We got the extra ones.
Okay. Why is this not a page on its own? It's basically surely it's one of the...
It is. That's...
Yeah, no,
the little guy that came with it.
I did.
Well, this is the thing. That's the character. That's just the base he controlled.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just split page.
Split double dip, yeah.
Because that's obviously a really big toy. So.
Yeah.
What's that one though? The biggest one? It's Metroplex, isn't it? One.
The Generations Metroplex is massive, but Fortress Maximus is...
Fortress Maximus, that was the one.
Biggest chunky ones, yeah.
Oh, that's camper than camp.
What is? Which one? Ground Shaker with the all-terrain vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, in the 80s they definitely had concepts.
Blastmaster and Phaser.
Were going. Phaser.
They're spacecraft.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, I'll tell you one of the other things that personally I find strange. But I don't really know, because the style of the book is very... It's nice. I'm not saying anything, because it really is. They put a lot of thought into this. It really is well done. Although I'd question about blowing up some of these. I think I'd have been tempted to try and leave them in the original scale sizing. I mean, yeah, I'm grooving to it, but one of the other things that I personally think is a shame, considering the variety of different figures, because this looks fairly complete. Is this all of the toys they released in G1 range?
No, there's some artwork that doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, which therefore hasn't been included.
Because they literally could not find a
they
copy.
They couldn't find a decent enough copy. If they'd have scanned it off packaging, then you'd have like feet missing and all this
I'd
kind
have been
of stuff.
tempted to throw it in towards the back of the book.
I mean, this would have been a possibility, but
that's what I wanted to see.
Right. Yeah, that would make sense.
This is really well done.
Yeah, if you did that with every character from 1984 alone, it would be a book this size just to do that for every character from 1984. Okay. So yeah.
I tell you what, I personally am missing. I like that. Yeah. Where's the character bios? Surely they could have squeezed that in. Again,
it would have been. I mean, this is the thing. Is I would have liked to have seen a book a bit smaller than this, and maybe have the text specs across like that. What? Oh,
that is stunning artwork. Of all of the bits in here, this is the best.
Well, you're into the Japanese only stuff now, which I'm guessing doesn't surprise you at all.
No, not at all. The level of detail on this in comparison with the rest.
Actually, it might be worth pulling out. If we go back to 1985. And find Inferno, if he's around. That's Dinobots. There's Grapple. Right, okay. Look at that. Look at that. The toy's the same. It's just a repaint. That's a repainted Jazz. Stepper is a repainted Jazz.
The artwork's far better.
Yeah.
Far better. Nice. Very nice.
Do you remember Reflector from the TV show?
No, I just
hey,
really
Reflector,
like
see what
the
you
fact
can see.
that it's a camera.
Yeah. Microchange. It started off as a microchange toy along with Megatron and Soundwave and so on and so forth.
Auto assembly, can you remind me? I want to see if I can pick one of these.
Good luck, I haven't got one. You're in the queue behind me if I find one.
Okay, why?
It was a mail away only in the States. We never got it over here.
Bleeding typical. Why is it all the Transformers I ever like?
Oh, that one. You know the Optimus Prime you saw earlier? This is what happens when you add on a second trailer.
Okay.
Then that's the second trailer. It's robot mode.
That's
even though it was a bit of a drone, but it turned out in the British when they reissued this toy, we got it in the UK, even though we never got the toy to start with, and it's actually that character is actually Roller, which is quite cool.
See now that, yeah, okay, that's cool artwork. Wow, it's only a blast from the past.
This one's interesting, where you've got the original Japanese version of Overlord and the British version. There was no release in the States.
Yeah, that page would have been awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, they obviously put an awful lot of time into getting the concept for how they wanted to display. Why have we gone into white?
Right, the Japanese boxes of this era tended to have white backgrounds with the overlays on top, so it actually makes sense from a historical point of view that it should be that kind of colour scheme. It's very different. Well, this is the thing: is the basis for the British and American boxes in '84 onwards was black, whereas it switched to white for this era in Japan. That's a severely upgraded Optimus.
I love the Decepticon logos. Okay. Cybertron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was Cybertron a separate robot and then...
Cybertron, well, this is the thing. Cybertron is the home planet of Transformers.
Yeah, but why is it being portrayed as a truck?
Right. These are Micromaster transport trucks, and the Micromasters would be taken somewhere in them. But these trucks are also fitted in things like Sky Garry and inside Star Convoy, which is the Optimus Prime.
So is this a robot or is it just a truck?
No, it's just a truck.
So the robot is the vehicle coming out of the back, which would explain why you've got a truck that's able to transport a shuttlecraft.
Yeah. You've also got to bear in mind that in Japan, Autobots were called Cybertrons, and Decepticons were called Destrons.
Okay.
It helps it make a little more sense.
You know what? Okay, so... Well, it's got to be one of the most overused pieces of artwork in history. That and the Mona Lisa. And you got a poster of this in your office.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's a nice picture, but it's like every Transformer fan has this permanently printed, stapled, or stuck to something. Is that really the best piece of artwork?
Well, the thing is that was what was on the back of the 1984 boxes.
No.
So it's the
It's
definition of iconic.
Oh look, they did another one of those cameras.
Yeah, that's the artwork of the character
So
reflector.
that's the same one as the other one.
Yeah, it's the same one as the other one. That's the artwork they used in the American Mail Away
I
leaflet.
want this.
Yeah.
See,
So do I.
okay, if you want to hear me say nice thing about Transformers for a week, I want one of these.
Now this is, if you go back a step, this is the artwork from the 1985 backer boxes and
That-
1986 backer boxes.
I've never seen this. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. Why have we not seen more of that?
I think it's because it's very Japanese. I think. This is the thing. Until
There's a
this
corpse lying in the ground in this
until
one.
there was until this book came out, I hadn't seen this.
There's a corpse.
Yeah, no, it's Jazz.
What?
So-
Why is there a corpse?
I've got a feeling Jazz is coming and is going to transform and rescue her. But I love this as well, where there's a seed.
Her? I thought it was a
Or
guy.
him, or whatever.
See, I thought he'd hit him and he running off.
No, that would be Jazz. But I mean, I like that piece of artwork there, where you can actually see his arms inside.
Inside, instead of the engine hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's nice.
Fire Guts got Jinrai. That's Optimus Prime going a little mental and using his internal power as a weapon. Basically, a version of Jinrai Optimus Prime.
It's pink.
Yes.
With pink metallic weapons.
Look, Mr. I Love My Kiss Play. You can't talk. Rosanna was very similar.
Hang on. You can't say I love my Kiss Play because I don't own any Kiss Play. It's the only
You have the
Transformers
tapes.
I would. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you have the Rosanna. So
Yeah, but I don't. Wow, that sucks.
Oh, that's so toy based. It's ridiculous.
What is
isn't it?
that?
That's
Puzzle
literally-
art. So okay.
Yeah, it's
puzzle art.
from literally one of the
Jigsaw
jigsaws.
puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice. Right. Well, $50. So retailed over here for what, 40?
Well, it's supposed to retail at 40, but it has been available to pick up for 25 quid. And for 25 quid, that's a bargain, frankly, to me at least.
Okay. So is this? Are we scoring this, or are you educated?
I'm just going to
scoring
quickly
it.
go through a couple of things
Okay.
that did bug me. Firstly,
Yeah, buggy.
Firstly, as a massive Transformers fan and an even bigger Optimus Prime fan, I turned a couple of pages and got to the first piece of artwork presented in the style of the book is this one with Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
It's not the original artwork.
Okay.
The fact is that most people wouldn't even notice. This is actually the 1985 Japanese artwork from the Japanese packaging.
Is it? Sorry, is it saying that it isn't?
Well, it doesn't. This is the thing.
It
Whenever
says 84 there.
yeah, exactly. Whenever there's been a presentation of the artwork, it's basically been the American one, and whenever it isn't, it's mentioned why. Now, I did speak to Jim about this because this looks like a glaring error to me, but I know Optimus Prime backwards, forwards, upside down, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And most people I've shown this picture to don't notice.
Right. What's?
Basically, right towards the back of the book is the artwork that was used on the G1 box, the original American and UK box, if I can find it. The interesting thing is when I spoke to Jim about it, he said, yes, we're very aware it's the wrong piece of artwork, essentially.
So what did they put the wrong piece of artwork in with the caption saying, this is the this, if that isn't it?
They wanted, basically, there was original version of that page where it did explain this was a different piece of artwork, but someone high up removed it.
Okay.
And the artwork...
I'm missing part of this story. What don't I get?
Oh, it was just basically someone at the publisher went, well, no, because this is this, and this is what... Because the other thing as well is that artwork was used by Hasbro on the reissues.
But it's not the original
It's
artwork.
not the original artwork.
So if it's not the original artwork, why is it in there saying it is?
Well, it's basically because the original artwork is in here, but it's down as alternative version for G2. The reason for that is it's mirror imaged. And the original, I've got a feeling from...
Hang on. Let me get this right. You are complaining and saying that it is not right because although it is the right artwork, it's the wrong way round.
No, that's the correct artwork, the wrong way round. Because that's how it appeared on the G2 book. Show it to the camera. That's the G2 Optimus Prime artwork when they reissued the original toy in slightly different colours with an extra electronic box.
Okay.
Okay, now on the G1 box it was this artwork but mirrored.
Okay, I can follow that.
Okay, that is completely different artwork from that. It will take you a few looks.
Yeah,
Because most people
glass,
don't
the
notice.
glass in the cab is different.
The head's different. The pose is different.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the reason is, basically I did have words with Jim about this because this actually slightly, this annoyed me, to be brutally honest, because it's me. This artwork doesn't exist in a version that can be blown up to that size. For a
So
start.
don't blow it up to that size. Leave it the size it is and just put some blurb in.
And what basically happened is when they G2'd it, they mirror imaged the original artwork, and the original artwork was destroyed. So that's why when they reissued Optimus Prime in the States, that artwork wasn't used on a box, and that one from Japan was.
Okay.
So as far as Hasbro is concerned, officially speaking, this is the original artwork.
But it's not the
But it's not the original. It's not.
So why didn't they just grab one from the box?
It's not in high enough quality.
So print it small and just go, sorry, we couldn't blow it up, guys.
And bits of it's missing because on the box it's cut off.
Okay, alright.
So that's why that's there in the book at all.
So they put a bigger version of the wrong artwork in just so that they could have a big version of
Because you've also got to bear in mind this has had to pass Hasbro's checks before it was released as a book.
Wouldn't they have been better off just not putting that page in?
It's Optimus Prime. How can you not put Optimus Prime in as
There's
a first?
enough other pictures of Prime in the book.
Yeah, no, but this is the thing is you start the book off with the character that everybody knows.
So use one of the others.
Yeah, but any of the others isn't going to be the first Optimus Prime.
Okay, that just makes my head hurt. Why? Alright, but let's put it, most people wouldn't have noticed.
Most people wouldn't have noticed, it's just me being a pain in the bottom.
Okay.
Frankly. Now, the other thing that's a bit of a shame is there isn't a lot of the G1 UK exclusive stuff, because this is the thing, it is Transformers Generation 1, as we now call it, which obviously was just Transformers back then, stopped in the States in 1990 with the first wave of Action Masters. That was it, dead. Hasbro brought out a range of Transformers that didn't transform. Shockingly, the entire range then died.
Well, yeah, Transformers should transform. Me and you have had this argument about those polystone busts.
Yeah.
Doesn't transform, then it doesn't belong on a plinth. Take it away.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is that in 1989, we started getting classic reissues, which were basically some of the earlier toys in gold boxes, basically as extras to the range, which States didn't get. Now it turns out, a lot of people didn't realise at the time, is that Hasbro were actually releasing the range for the first time in China as well, but they were using American...
Japan, China.
In China, yeah. It was the first time China had got them. And though they'd cost reduced the toys a little bit, so in some cases, say, metal feet had been replaced by plastic feet, like on the cassettes, the toys were basically the same thing. They were essentially the start of reissues. And at the same time, we got reissues as classics. And that's what kept the line going. Because in the British comic, we were getting stories about the characters who'd been reissued as the backup strip. And this garnered a lot of interest in the actual toys coming back out. And they did things like Jazz and Wheeljack and so on and so forth. Major characters. And did Prime as well. The Dinobots. It's like, well, of course they're going to sell. So when everything died off in the States, things kept going here. We got a second range of Action Masters that did transform in some cases. So there were Transformers that couldn't transform, then I could again. And then after that, we started getting completely exclusive stuff, which were then released in Japan slightly later.
God, that must drive the American fans up the wall.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's all pretty.
And we got characters that were in groups like the Turbo Masters, the Predators, the Obliterators, Lightformers, Trakens. And I mean, we're talking from 1992, 1993, we got entire blocks of range that were pretty much us and little
bits by Europe, or by England.
Well, in some cases, it was only released in the UK in one form and then got repackaged for the rest of Europe. And the smallest Turbo Masters actually got released with the smallest Predators in 2-packs in Japan, but they didn't get the medium-sized one or the big ones. So they didn't get Thunderclash. They didn't get Pyro either, which was the following year.
Really weird for a Japanese toy company to do particularly well in England to the stage where we get toys.
Well, this is the thing. Our comic was still going up till 92. It's quite bizarre how much longevity we'd got in this country. But again, it's because, unlike in the States, our Transformers fan base wasn't reliant on the cartoon series. It was more reliant on the comic. And because the comic kept going, the toys kept selling.
Right. I
think it was a case of that. Now,
in America, it was definitely cartoon.
Oh yeah, very much.
How about Japan? Well, Japan surely would have been toy based.
No, it was cartoon toy based. But the thing is in Japan, Transformers didn't come out until '85. They were all a year later, and they actually had the cartoon series ready to go alongside it immediately.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little bit of a different thing, and their cartoon series kept going. I mean, the one piece of artwork you saw earlier, it's labelled a Star Convoy.
Yes.
Right, that was actually the first series where there was first series of toys where there was no cartoon series to go alongside it in any way, shape or form. The previous year had only got the pilot episode, but at least it got something. But with that, they were relying on manga for it.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. But you've got 1990 we had extra toys as well as 89 that the States didn't get. 91 we had an entire range that the States didn't get. 92 an entire range that the States and Japan didn't get except for 8 figures. And then 93 an entire range that didn't come out anywhere else either.
Okay.
Now alongside that, towards the end of 92, Generation 2 started coming out in the States, which were just the repaints of the G1 toys we'd already had reissued in their original colour schemes recently. So it was getting very bizarre on what was going on, and those toys had already been were also being issued in China for the first time, but on the packaging that looked like the American ones with just slight changes about the copyrights.
Right.
So it was like, the problem is the internet wasn't really big yet at that time, so all this was happening and nobody knew in each territory what was happening in any of the others. So it's only been recently that people have finally put the pieces together to find out what was going on. So it's quite weird. Now, come 93, during 93, the States were having Generation 2. We in the UK in 93 had Generation 1, but very late Generation 1, that was using the Generation 2 symbols. Because there was a licensing issue with the old ones. It was getting very, very complicated. We actually had a situation...
Hasbro being Hasbro at its finest?
Yeah, and there were issues over Optimus Prime being in the range and stuff like this. It was getting very, very complicated. So we had a load of toys in 93, which were released as Generation 1 in the UK, and then re-released the following year in Europe as Generation 2, with different names, even though they weren't repainted or anything. Pyro is a perfect example. Pyro was released in the UK as a Generation 1 toy, in packaging that's completely different from anything Generation 1 in the States, and completely different from Generation 2. But it looks kind of like a Generation 2 toy.
God, I'm glad I don't collect Transformers. Bloody wall.
So when Pyro was released in the rest of Europe, it was renamed to Spark and was in a Generation 2 box. So it's no wonder it gets very confusing. A lot of American fans refer to what we call here as our exclusive late G1 stuff as G1.5 or G2-ish. You're just like, but around that time we were having stuff being done.
You are just gonna put a ball gag on me and sit me down with a picture of margaritas for auto assembly, because I'm not. This stuff is.
But the thing is all this stuff that was done that was pretty much UK and Europe exclusive. They did all this artwork for, which no longer exists. All of it disappeared.
So what happened to the original?
We don't know. Jim actually came over to Hasbro UK to have a look through their archives, what there was of it, and nothing was there.
What do you mean? What there was of it? It's an archive of a major toy company. It's
basically nothing, because since
one of their most popular ranges, they have no info.
No, because in 1993, Hasbro UK Europe were autonomous. They were doing stuff for us.
That would explain the.
When G2 came out, do you remember me going mental about letters from Hasbro around about then, when I was trying to set up auto assembly and all that kind of
I
stuff?
remember you bashing your head against all the same bad things.
As G2 was coming in, Hasbro USA took complete control over the market here.
Yeah, because you were commenting that there was no autonomy left for independent projects.
Basically, Hasbro UK Europe got downsized quite significantly, and it looks like a lot of the records from this period disappeared.
Disappeared as in there's a fan out there with a trunk full, or
no,
disappeared as in there's a skip somewhere that was very
it all ended up in a skip.
That's wrong.
From what I understand, because this is the thing, is a lot of people don't have no record of this artwork. There are fans out there who have really obscure artwork from earlier, but none of this stuff seems to be out there. It's really a massive shame.
Have they done a call out? I mean, they do call outs all the time to Doctor Who fans.
Oh yeah,
surely
there's been call outs all the time, because this is the thing, is half this book is artwork that's come in from fans that Hasbro didn't have records, or Takara didn't have records of.
Wow.
Especially,
well, that's nice.
And one of the reasons why the Action Master section isn't as complete as it could be is because Transformers fans don't like Action Masters. Well, the Transformers that didn't transform, of course a lot of Transformers fans aren't going to like them, so
just the artwork doesn't exist because nobody can be bothered to keep the toy. Okay, alright then. Okay.
So there are gaps, but when... Understandable gaps. I mean, when you look at it as the scope was supposed to be USA G1, essentially. It's an American book, done by American people.
So the fact that it has English and Japanese stuff in it
at all is lovely and really, really cool. That one thing with Optimus Prime, most people wouldn't notice. I'm just a picky git.
Okay.
So it's fair enough. I am going to give this, bearing in mind the moment this arrived and opened, I was gaga for days. I love this book. This is possibly one of my most favourite pieces of memorabilia for Transformers. As I said, there's a couple of things that got to me, so I can't give it a 10, but it's getting a 9.5.
Okay. Oh God. How much do I want free beer at Auto Assembly? Okay. I'm not going to score it. I can't score it. It's a lovely presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Cover is gorgeous. It's well thought. I mean, I personally don't like this piece of art because I've seen it everywhere. It drives me up the wall.
Probably doesn't help every time you come around to my house. It's there in your face.
but I do know a lot of Transformers fans really like this particular piece, so fair enough.
Freaks some people out because one, Optimus Prime's got yellow eyes, and two, they're sparkly things.
Yeah. The design principle involved, I like that. The design principle in the book is good. The presentation is good. The quality of the paper and the print job is excellent. It gave me a bit of a headache looking through it, even though I was only skimming through it, just because, for me, the artwork is disproportional. When I look at it, I'm like, that looks really fat. But if it was this big, it wouldn't look really fat, it would look fine.
Yeah.
The artist who painted it knew it was only going to be this big, but had to do it this big, or had to do...
Yeah, for reproduction purposes.
It's like my favourite artist, Naomi, does these great big things, and they're stunning, but they're designed to be this big.
Yeah.
But when she does them, they're this big. because she likes to get all the, these great big thick lines, but when they're this big, they look pencil thin, and they're really so. Them being blown up and out of proportion, I'm not really loving that. I can see why. I'm not sure it's a decision I would have made, but I'm sure that somebody over there who's paid a lot of money who went, this is how it needs to be.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't have done that. I would have been more tempted to keep the artwork as either as it appeared or very close. Size-wise. And maybe thrown in some concept art where concept art was available.
Mm-hmm.
But again, see, I'd quite like this book if it had bio information about the characters.
Yeah, you want text specs.
I'd be more interested in seeing pictures of the packaging. But this book isn't aimed for me. It's aimed for people that want to see all the characters from that range. See, I would have much rather had half the size of the artwork for the figure, and then maybe if the artwork doesn't exist, maybe a photo of what the toy looked like when it was transformed, because there's a lot of characters in there that I haven't got a clue who they are. And although you can go, well, that's obviously got wheels, it's a car, it's not always obvious when they're trucks and vans and other things. Okay, it's obviously a plane of some sort because it's got a tip, but what type of plane, I don't know. It just got a point. So I probably would have liked it, unless I actually had the remit for what this book was meant to be. I mean, obviously you've said it's artwork from the original American G1. Fair enough. So I'm not going to score it because I can't. It would be unfair of me to score it as a Transformer thing. I can score it as a book, and as a book, it's really nice paper. It's good quality. It's well printed. It's a nice size. I'd happily give it an 8. But
you don't have the emotional attachment to the artwork.
I have emotional attachment. I have no attachment.
And that's
to
the
this.
big thing about this is this is a massive callback.
I can see a fan. No. The reason I'm giving it an 8 as a book is because if a Transformer fan said to me, "I want a Transformers book," I'd go, there we go.
Yeah.
This is it.
Absolutely.
The same as whenever I meet little Transformer fans, I always give them those Ladybird books because it just amuses me no end that there are Transformers Ladybird books. There you go.
Should get them with the tape cassette as well. That's hilarious.
Thank you very much for watching, and good night.
Bye.